Hello, everybody. Jeremy Thomas here, and delighted to welcome my new co-pilot for a long series of talks, Stacey Lambert. Hello, Stacey.
Hello, Jeremy.
And we're saying hello on this recording because we think it's good for everybody to see this. We're going to provide this seminar, which is going to have a keynote from me. It's going to have case studies from you. There's going to be some very rigorous Q&A, and I think Q&A is a really good thing, actually. If you get people really going, and especially people feel safe to ask, interesting questions. I think we can do that. And we're going to have breakouts and do workshops on the dials of the dashboard, more interaction, more questioning. So I mean that's the aim of what we're going to do. And I think without droning on about it, I hope that it's going to be authentic. I'm interested to know, because you've got some quite positive and alternative thoughts about people working in companies, haven't you?
Yeah, so, going back to when I first studied HR, this was back in 1996. And I remember going to this talk, and the bloke said to me, put your hands up, anyone who likes people. Of course, we're all putting our hands up. And this is, a true story. The guy said, well, just remember, you're not going to be liked in HR. And I thought that was quite a weird thing to say, because I'd gone into HR because I recognised and I was proud of the fact I was a people person.
Yeah.
But on my journey, and boy, I've loved my job. I have, and I've been very fortunate with the places and companies that I've worked and principally the people I've worked with. But there's three things I've learned in HR, Jeremy. One, people do not go to work to do a bad job.
Right.
No one gets up in the morning thinking, I'm going to go into work and I'm just going to do a rubbish job. The second thing is, anybody, doesn't matter who you are, wants to go into work and wants to be valued for what you contribute. And they want to be in an environment where they can feel supported when days aren't so good. Because, we are all on this sort of wobbly curve from time to time. And then the third thing that I've learned is that there's no such thing as best fit. There's no perfect fit in an organization. It's
Right.
about making sure that as an individual you can work somewhere and know that you might have a different preference for a different way that you want to do things, and it's about having policies and approaches and having sort of values that can support difference and can support where people just need to work a little bit differently. And I think that is key. I mean, don't get me wrong, people like rules. People really like rules. They like boundaries, they like parameters. But people also like that autonomy and that freedom to be themselves.
So it's a balance.
It is a balance, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's I mean, generally speaking, I think that's what's true of, well-being, good mental health. It is all a balance of the dials on the dashboard, but I mean, just being, what we're talking about is really straightforward. And I mean, this is not a lengthy discussion, but I understand. What I really understood from what you said just now is that people need to be valued. And I think that's hugely important in terms of, you see this in schools, that if one child feels they're, useless, hopeless, not very good, no one likes me. But if the teacher goes, actually, I think you're rather good, and I'd like you to be in charge of the computer screens and also doing the plants, suddenly that child has a, wow, God, he thinks I'm great, and it's a very straightforward thing. And just in case anyone's getting the idea that we are going to go into places and, make it all touchy-feely and that you've all got to be psychiatrists and social workers, that is not the point. The point is prevention is better than cure. Knowledge is power. I mean, that's it really from me.